Welcome to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, where today's top influencers and entrepreneurs on the rise share empowering stories and ninja tips to become the fuel that ignites a positive change in your life. Our guests don't simply coast through life. They don't let difficult situations stop them. They set big goals, keep their eyes on the prize, and they're joining us today to share insider secrets you can use right now to step into your power and live your purpose. Now, here's your host, Christy Ruffino.
Well, welcome everybody to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast. I am Christy Ruffino, the host of the show, and today is one of our special edition episodes. This is the first in a three-part series where I have the honor of introducing you to the Limitless women that will be featured in our next Overcoming Mediocrity book. I have gotten to know these women through our little journey together. They all have incredible stories. And in case you don't know, our Overcoming Mediocrity book is a series of books, all featuring women who have amazing stories that have brought them on the journey to arrive at a certain point where they found their purpose, they're pursuing it with passion, and they have a mission to really make a bigger impact in the world. And so today I have a few authors with us. If you love the show, make sure you catch the next episode because we're going to have two more episodes behind this one where we're going to have additional women sharing their story, their wisdom, and they all have a special free gift that they're sharing with our audience of their podcast. So today, let's first bring on the stage Felecia Etienne. Welcome, Felecia.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be part of this project. And I tell you, what really inspires me is just hearing all the women that's on this book stories. It just fires me up, but it also brings tears to my eyes to know how strong and powerful women are. So I'm excited to be part of this project. So I'm Felecia Etienne. I'm one of the co-authors on this project, and I'm a high performance success coach and the founder and CEO of Level Up and Thrive Coaching and Consulting. I help overwhelmed and stressed out leaders maximize their time, their energy, their productivity so they can be present and intentional with the vital areas of their life. And in this book, I went into one of the most pivotal times within my life when I truly needed to own my struggle. So I thought, a little bit of backstory, you're going to have to read the book to get all the juicy details. So I'll give you a little backstory. I thought I was the ultimate badass because my career was thriving at the time and I had everything that the world deemed to be necessary to be successful. And then through my near-death experience, I learned lessons that changed my life forever. And in this book, I shared the leadership principles that I learned. And I also shared tips and reflection points that can help you to kind of reclaim your power and navigate any curveballs that come your way. It's just going to help you to rise up and be even more limitless. You'll walk away after reading my story feeling empowered, energized, but also activated to understand that the struggles you have gone through is preparing you for your next level. It's preparing you for everything that's to come. And when we think about the last 2 years, everything that we have universally gone through, we need these type of stories that kind of help us and activate us to keep us moving forward.
Absolutely. And I know we had a conversation about a month ago about something that had happened kind of in the news, and that situation or that devastating experience that really connected with you gave you even more fuel to recognize it. Now more than ever, we need to empower women and really just help them on their journey.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because one of the things I've noticed in the news, so many women are struggling, right? When you think about the great exit from corporate America, so many women are moving into other avenues, other things they're doing, and they're feeling like the overwhelmed, the stress. And part of what really activated me was I needed, when I was going through that moment, when I didn't know if I was going to survive, if my child was going to make it, I needed to have things like, how do I pull the plug on some of those emotions? How do I pull the plug on those stories? How do I pull the plug on the guilt? and the emotions that I was going through that was holding me back. And in our book, when we kind of talked about this, I think you are the one who said, kind of bring in some of those things, like pull the plug, like how people are doing it. So I really go into the details of the actions you can take, how you can start to reframe and create a level of abundance, a level of gratitude that will help us as we navigate through some of the things we're going through. And then the other thing I would just share there is another principle. So I'm going to give you like high level. One was riding the wave that we talked about within the book. And when I think about everything that's going on, it's important and pivotal for all of us to understand, how do we ride the wave through creating systems within our life that would help us to navigate without feeling like the overwhelm, without feeling the stress. And I talked about in this, right? How I was able to do it during that difficult time, being in another state, right? This is so juicy, guys. You're gonna want to get the book, because I'm giving you like a little high level here. But when I was traveling on business, I went into preterm labor, and I was in Dallas, Texas, and I live in New York City. So at that point, I didn't know what's gonna happen. I didn't know if I was gonna survive, and I had to make decisions on my life and my child's life all alone. So a lot of those lessons is what kind of I bring into the story that will help you to kind of ride the wave in some of the things that you may be struggling with. And how do you create the life, the momentum? And I give you systems that you can track it. It's really a great story. I don't want to give you too much on here. I know Christy wants me to go in a little details, but I think it's really cool if you can just read it and take it there. But just know you're going to get 4 of my pivotal leadership principles that not only allowed me to navigate, but also during that most difficult time to excel.
Perfect.
Right? I won the national award for my company during that time. And I did a whole other stuff during that time where you would think, wow, instead of scaling back, she scaled forward. She leveled up. And I give you the secrets within the chapter.
Thank you, Felecia. And I know you have a free gift. Can you very briefly share what you're going to be giving with your story?
So the free gift I'm going to be giving with this story is the Own Your Struggle Resilience Workbook.
Perfect. And then we'll have the link for that in the show notes below. So don't worry. If you want to connect with Felecia to buy her book, get her free gift, the contact information will be with this episode on whatever platform you listen. So thank you, Felecia.
Thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Next, we have Jen Neal. Jen, welcome to our show today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me back.
Awesome. Yes. I know you are actually one of our featured guests at one point, as will everybody in our book at one point. And so I know we had a great conversation. You had a really, really well downloaded episode, and your story that you shared in the book is very powerful. So could you give us a little snippet of your story and what you're going to be giving free as a gift to people that read your story?
Absolutely. So I started off working in corporate America for almost 15 years in small business marketing. And then I started my own business, and I ran a digital agency where we built everything from funnels to websites to launches to like anything online. When one day, this is the story that's in the book here, is my assistant actually came in and she's like, hey, did you know we've been in business for 10 years officially? And I, instead of being super happy about that, I was like crushed, because I felt like I should be so much further ahead. I should be so much more successful. I should be seeing all of these things. And lots of therapy later, I realized that I should all over myself. And
love that.
But you know, I really realized that what was really getting me down about all of that in owning my own business is that I hadn't really created a business. I had created a job, and I was building other people's dreams and not my own. And so I had to kind of dig down and say, what are the changes I need to make, and what are the mistakes I made? How do I get past this? And, you know, and it was tough. I tell you what, like it took 2 or 3 years, and I had some pretty big disasters, including what's in the book. At one point I was like, I need to productize my business. I need to come up with something amazing that I can sell as a product instead of as a service. So, being quite the literal transition in my brain, I decided to actually open and create an Amazon store, which had absolutely no like
Connection.
I've never done that before. Like, why did I decide to do that? So, I went through quite a few failures, and then the gut wrenching fear of I'm doing too many things. And, being blessed with being a super nerd makes it to where I can easily pick up any software or new tool or some online technique. And so I was doing it all. And so I realized my two biggest things were just because I can doesn't mean I should.
Mm.
And that was a really hard lesson for me to learn. And it took quite a while for it to actually sink in. And the other one was I really, everybody talks about the wealth is in the niches, the secret's in the niches, right? And I'm like, I'm niched. I'm totally niched. I wasn't. And it took me several years to actually kind of figure out where to niche down. And in all of that, I leaned on past customers and what are things that made people successful versus those that weren't. And then I actually created a program out of that, and I tested it on myself and then on customers. And I realized, so at first I was like, it's all about content repurposing, right? So I worked with these other people, we're repurposing stuff, they're doing awesome, all this posting. And I realized they're posting all the wrong stuff. Like, just being on social media and having all of these posts and presence and all of that doesn't do anything for you unless you're directing traffic where it needs to go and you're taking advantage of capturing that audience, right? So I realized it wasn't just content repurposing, and a lot of it comes from Google Juice. So when is the last time that literally, I want all of you guys to actually think about this. When's the last time that you saw an ad or something while you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, and you're like, that looks cool, but I don't want to click the link because they're going to follow me around all over the place, right? So what do? We go to Google and we do a search. And if you don't find anything, you're going to find, if you are not there when people are searching for you, you're missing out. And I had also just realized that I had spent almost about $44,000 on Facebook ads and had come out in a $12,000 revenue. It's negative math, by the way.
Those numbers don't work.
That's not work. And so I really got tired of using just ads to sell our stuff online. And so I put together a program that actually incorporates all three of those facets, which brings us more traffic and less leads for less money, less effort. And so that is the gift that I'm actually giving away is all about how to activate your content online. So the steps that you want to go through, why Google Juice is important, how to cut your ad spend, all of those things that you can do even as a very beginner business, all the way up to multi-billion-dollar businesses.
Yay. And I know we're going to be doing a special edition class for our authors. And if anybody's listening to this show at some point, I'm going to make a note to try to make a copy or replay of that link available. So if people listen to this show later and want to get even more training from you, now they have a way to connect. So love that. All right, Jen.
Can you guys there?
Yay. So thank you. And next we have Gladys Santiago with us. Welcome, Gladys.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Gladys Santiago, and I am very happy to be part of this initiative. I tell you, Christy and this phenomenal opportunity came into my world when I declared that me, myself, and I, while she's phenomenal, could not do it alone. And as soon as I said that, Christy called and said, I want you to be part of the book. So it's amazing how things work like that, right? I am an entrepreneur. I am a certified fundraising executive. And for the last 30 years, I've been building other people's dreams, making sure they sustain resources, bring resources, and sustain resources to manifest their mission and their vision. And that's what I've been doing for the last 30 years. I am pivoting now as I now am transitioning through my midlife. And that's where my story, that's where it stems from. One day on a Sunday morning in 2016, I almost ended it all. Now, how does someone as seasoned as I am, as professional, as loving, and God-fearing actually reach that point? Well, you're going to have to read the story to find out. But one thing is for sure, and what I wished for the listeners to walk away with is three things. Life is guaranteed to pow you with episodes of suffering. You know, who are we to think we will escape the certainty of pain and suffering? It is, after all, part of what it is to experience our humanity. And when writing my story and doing the research in preparation for writing the story, I realized there were forces at play that led to real life drama. Once I understood what was at play, I was able to release the trauma. So there's real life drama, but there was real trauma, and saw what I was not in control of, that I thought I was in control of, but really I was not in control of it. For example, there is accident-induced trauma. I share about the accident. And there's also trauma due to midlife depression. The two were playing ping pong, and I was the little ball. Secondly, while it is unavoidable that pain and suffering, the whole idea of pain and suffering, one of the strategies I share in my story to lessen the storms on our passage through life is being anchored to hope. Now, hope in this sense is not a wish, but something to shoot for. You know, we often hear how hope and faith are intertwined, but each of them need to be cultivated. And when cultivated proactively, both allow us to source limitless avenues to see us through life's twisted pain and suffering. And for example, at the end of my chapter story, I offer a free gift to readers in the form of a self-assessment titled Your Light, Your Purpose, and Your Journey. And one of the 8 areas of focus is to reflect on your tribe, your community. We have a saying in my Puerto Rican culture, dime con quién andas y diré quién eres. Tell me with who you walk with, who do you hang out with, and I will tell you who you are. So have you ever reflected on who you have surrounded yourself with? Have you ever stopped to think why you hang around with certain people? Who is missing that, if included, would help you on your journey? And with whom is it time to complete a relationship, cut the cord completely? I realized when writing my story that I had in fact had a tribe who stepped up in ways I could not have predicted. I'm present to that. I'm very touched, moved, and inspired. I had cultivated community over a lifetime. And being a limitless woman is about sharing more with others than withholding from them, sharing more than withholding. This practice cultivated the optimism of hope and developed the confidence of faith. And third, of course, not least, is growing our spiritual capacity to allow our soul to speak. Look, I could not have overcome the darkness that threatened my life that Sunday morning without my number one constant, Jesus Christ. And God is my universal source for my soul. God has summoned me to bring light to the world, one person at a time. Now, my story is dedicated to my mom, who lost her life in a midlife crisis. And doing the research, I learned that the unhealthiest demographic entering midlife are Hispanic women. I also learned that midlife is when a woman is prone to let disease take over. This cannot be sustained. Mom was going through midlife. She died of breast cancer. Stricken with fear, she ignored her body signaling her to wake up. I'm waking up too. I have made millions for others, but where's mine? So I'm pivoting my story to be true to my soul and to the summons that God has placed within me. So the next chapter of life is to create the Latina Illumination Center, whose mission is to equip Latinas to transition smoothly through 3 more chapters of their life. And good or bad, nothing in life stays the same. We simply accept, embrace, and absorb that hope remains forever.
Wow, Gladys, thank you so much. Very, very powerful.
You're welcome. It's
All
truly an honor. I can't wait for the ears that are going to hear our stories. My gosh, I've already been reading some of those in this team of 20. Oh my gosh. We each have a story. We each have a facet of women's lives. And each has something that we need to hear. So please read all of our stories.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening.
Amen to that. All right. Next, we have Elaine Gibson. Welcome, Elaine.
Thanks, Christy. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so honored to be part of this project.
Yeah, so I would love to have you share a little bit about the meat and potatoes in your story. What is it about? And then if you want to share a little bit about the gift that you're going to be including with your story.
Thank you. I would love to. And in my world, I will warn everybody right now, it's not about meat and potatoes.
I know. When I said that, I was like, oh,
that's great. I love that. So, when they told me I had cancer, I couldn't breathe. And when they told me, my medical team told me they did not expect me to see my grandchildren grow up, I knew I had to find a better way, a way that I could trust. And I thought, have you ever met a Jewish grandmother from New York City before? I don't think you get us. I'm out of here. I am out of here because I am limitless. Who are you to put me in a corner? Nobody puts babe in a corner, right? So that was in 2009. And as we speak today, I'm 76 years old. So I basically went on a journey to figure out what is the foundation of health. I didn't know what it was, but I knew there had to be something there. For years we hear Hippocrates, food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food, and our body heals. And I had no idea. And there was so much conflicting information. So I went on a journey, and my journey led me just basically to understand that cancer and all challenges with our health are created because we are in an acidic state, and we must have oxygen in our body. Cancer is an anaerobic cell. So having that, everything became easy. I'm a choreographer. I see the big picture. Now I live my life. How do we get oxygen and alkalinity in our body today? I have taken everything that I've learned and put a ribbon around it, morning, noon, and night. I lost 28 pounds on my journey. I discovered raw foods. I discovered oxygenated lifestyles. I discovered oxygenated water. I bring everything. There are no toxins, but here's the thing. Don't wait for a crisis. You don't have to wait for a crisis. What you do need to do is feed your body what it needs so that you can hear it when it speaks with you. Now, I know that everybody that listens to this and reads this book is living life in the fast lane, and we miss the whispers. We miss the symptoms. The only way our body can get our attention to resolve what's wrong is by giving us pain or symptoms. And we have to be our best in order to be limitless and bring our magic. Because when you're inflamed or when you're constipated and when you're carrying extra weight, and what carrying extra weight is way more than a zipper, it's the weight of overwhelm. And somehow women think that self-care is selfish. That's crazy. So what I've done is taken a clean eat 14-day clean eating program that we use with all the people, everybody that walks through our door. It's a program that people pay for, and that's your free gift. And it will really, really jumpstart you. And the key is to jumpstart you so you can start to feel the benefits. But the really important thing is that I believe that you deserve optimal health, vitality, and joy every single day. Take control, listen to your body. You do not have to live and wait for a crisis. You do not have to be hit with it. You can heal yourself. You just have to decide that the people that you love are worth the effort. And I'm here to say that if you're listening to this, looking at this book, that you are ready and you are pursuing Limitless. However, until you get your body at its best, the world is going to suffer. So I really ask everybody, take the time, understand the people that you love are worth it. My dream is to see you dance to your own song, find your way, get into nature, find things naturally, and just know that you deserve better. And the world needs your magic, and we're counting on you.
Wow, absolutely. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
We are happy to announce the release of our latest book, Overcoming Mediocrity, Limitless Women. This book features 20 women who know what it's like to disrupt the status quo and overcome challenges that, at the time, seemed impossible to face. Yet they did. They were limitless. And they're sharing their stories of courage, strength, and perseverance with you today. Plus, this incredible book also includes 20 free gift downloads and buckets of wisdom, as these experts share tips on how they've become successful, impacting the world in such a powerful way. Tips you can apply to your life too. Visit ombook.org to get your very own copy.
Well, next we have Julia Hsia. I have known Julia for many years, and I am really excited that she decided to join this project because she has an incredible story. So, Julia, do you want to share a little bit about your story and then kind of wrap it up with what you're giving as your free gift?
Absolutely. Hi, Christy. And
Hi.
All the listeners out there. Yes, Christy and I have known each other for over 10 years. And if it wasn't for Christy, I really would not be who I am, where I'm at today. I first met Christy when I launched my business, Reflection Communications, 10 years ago. And back then it was a marketing company. We were promoting direct mail services, marketing services. Lots has happened between now and then and now. Now, Reflection Communications is serving even a wider audience, particularly people who have a story that have been holding them back. And these are the limited beliefs that people tend to think are true about themselves. The story that I shared in the book is about how my family had this family secret, and I was holding on to this secret, thinking I am not worthy, I am not like anybody else, I'm not good enough, and those beliefs have limited me in so many ways. Relationships, careers, relationships with other people, and just really didn't think I had what it took. Until I understood the power of reflection. Reflection Communications is allowing us to take a look inside to know what we have is already part of us. And we just have to clean it up. It's like cleaning a house. If you clean it once, it'll get dirty again. It's an ongoing process. We have to constantly stay on top of this, owning the process, have it become a way that we live. It almost is, it's like breathing, but this takes work. And what I'm offering as a gift to everyone is to develop a method that's your own develop this method that you would just be able to use in any challenging situation, that you would be able to overcome these limited beliefs, and not just for yourselves, but you can carry this method and to help other people as well. So you can build your community of people that have overcome limited beliefs and overcome mediocrity and be limitless, just like Christy and I have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julia, for sharing that. All right. Well, last but not least, we have our next guest, Christy Lister. She has an amazing story, and she's just like the rest of the women that took something bad in her life and turned it into a mission that's really, really making a huge impact. I'm not going to give away what her story is because she's here to tell you. So Christy, tell us a little bit about the focus of your story. And you have a really great resource that I am really excited to be able to be a part of sharing this with a larger audience. So do you mind sharing that today?
Absolutely. So on June 17th, 2019, life changed for myself and my family like we never thought it would. My former spouse was a police officer for 25 years, took his life on Father's Day. We found out on, the next morning, of course, and that puts me in touch with this non-for-profit known as Blue Help, also now known as First Help. So we are now covering, fire, dispatch, EMS, and of course, Blue. And they help families. We help honor, educate, lead, and prevent is our goal, which is what help is, to prevent where we are, where I got to on that day. So it gives you a little touch base on what it's like to go through that, and that you can come out of it in a positive way and make a difference in honoring that officer, that firefighter, that dispatcher, that EMS tech. And our tools, although I don't have a free gift, but I've got something as valuable, and maybe if not more, because you can go to firsthelp.org, and that's number one, firsthelp.org, and I know it'll be in the show notes. And on there, we have a resource tab that can give you a list of when you were struggling, when a first responder that is struggling, and you can find in your area First Help or first responder ready counselors and help to get you the help that you need to get you started on that. And of course, we have education that we can do, and we go out, and I was actually somewhere last night doing that. Got home about midnight, but it makes a difference, and it's eye-opening for everybody, and to let you know that you're not alone. And right now we have a campaign called So What? So what if you have to ask for help? It's okay. So what if you think that people are going to look at you differently because people are struggling with their own stuff on the inside, and it has nothing to do with you. So it's okay to go and get help.
Yeah. So I have quite a few friends that are in the police force, and I've, throughout the years, I've met a lot of them, and they're all very similar in that they're very strong, tough, on the outside, you get the feeling that they're invincible, right? And because they're dealing with a lot, they're seeing a lot, they're experiencing a lot. And one of those friends I ended up by getting closer with, and, we had a lot of great conversations. And when you get to see what's underneath that shell, you realize that they carry a lot of weight on their shoulders. And, his wife actually committed suicide. And so there's just this crazy world in all of the first responders' lives that the average person doesn't know about. And the spouses or close people of them know what's brewing or can kind of see signs, but they don't know where to go for help. And so I love this effort because it gives people, at the very least, they know they're not alone, and they know they have some place to reach out to for support.
Right. And real quick, I know we don't have a lot of time left, but just a touch point that you made. So family, I know that our four walls are different in a normal family. So know that you are not alone, and your four walls are the exact same as all the others. So contact us. We're there for you. We're there for your first responder.
Yes. So you were a guest already on our podcast, and I know your episode was so engaging. And we had a lot of listeners. We had a lot of comments and stuff from that show. So I want to encourage anybody that finds this episode or this segment interesting to go to our, it's the 48th episode in our series. I'm not sure the date that listen dropped, but just go to episode 48. Of course, connect with Christy. She would love to autograph her book, send it to you, and most importantly, go to that resource because, you know, we don't know when we're going to need it. And even if you don't necessarily have somebody in your family that is a first responder in one of those areas, you may know somebody, and just save that resource, save that link, add it as a favorite in your browser so you can refer to that at some point. If hopefully you won't, but if you need it, you've got that resource at the, you know, at your fingertips.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Well, this wraps up our first in a series of 3 episodes where I have the privilege of interviewing our authors. This is our 12th book in the series of Overcoming Mediocrity. This one is featuring Limitless Woman. And so I encourage you to reach out to any of the women who you connect with, get to know them. They all have great missions right now in their journey of life. And I know they'd love to be able to support you on your journey as well. So thanks, everybody. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, Christy.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, where we believe that everyone can have the business and life of their dreams once they've learned the art of mastering their story. Mastering our stories is the key to everything we want in life. Our stories can either hold us back or they can propel us to new heights. We can choose. You can choose. Choose to overcome mediocrity with us. Let's achieve greatness together. To learn more, visit www.overcomingmediocrity.org. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast.